afternoon, everyone. It's Rachel here with Whatever Wednesday, and on the back of last week's Whatever Wednesday video, which was these, a lot of you said you would like to see them. I haven't done any more on here, but look at it. I did a little bit more after the video, but it's starting to look really great, that very faded embroidery, and I love how that turned out. I've just got to do the green, and I am going to do that. So there's a bit of work to do and stitch here and there, so we will do a little bit of that together, and I've got to work on that one too. But let's see, starting one from scratch was the request. Right, so I wanted to show you, so basically you can have, the first one here was simply backed onto a piece of ticking, and I really probably put, let's measure, I probably put, I'll do inches, and about an inch, bit less than an inch really, around maybe 0.75 or 2 centimeters, sort of more or less. I sort of eyeballed it, and I just put it onto a piece of ticking. Now the other option is, let's first of all choose a page. I've got all kinds of fabrics and things here, and I like to use my scraps to do this. So this one here, I'm hooked on the needles. This one here, I joined 3 pieces of fabric together to create my base, and that's a really good way to use your scraps. So I pulled out, I don't have many of these pages for myself, so I had to pull out one of my packs. Now they are getting low, but they will be in stock again later next week, I think. And I have been designing new Easter kits. Oh my god, I can't help myself. So I was thinking this one, see how that's pale, it doesn't matter. This one or this one. This one's more busy. So when it's more busy, I mean, that is beautiful for embroidery, but when it's more busy, then there's, I mean, I can add things around here, but then I'm not going to cover up those things there. When it's like this one where there's quite a bit of space, I've got room to do quite a lot there. So, I mean, they're both lovely. I don't know which one to choose. I do have some projects in mind for these fabrics. So I think I'll keep these more busy ones for that, to start doing that. I've got the hiccup, sorry guys. And I'm going to use this one. I better move this out of the way or I'll start cutting into that. And I'm going to just trim off the edge. If I were really fussed, I could even do it with my rotary cutter, but my care factor for that sort of stuff is 0. So I'm just doing it by hand. Cutting across myself too. I seem to go a little bit better cutting across myself. And, oh, I thought I trimmed that. I didn't. Oh no, I trimmed that bit there. Ding dong. Okay, and then we'll trim off this. So how is everyone today? I hope you're well. I don't know how far we'll get with it. We may just get it all planned out and pinned down. That could be, it depends how long it takes me. Sometimes they just really happen quickly, and sometimes they take a long time. So let's see. I know what we're going to play with. So I haven't really played much with sort of patterned fabrics behind, but you never know. I'm just thinking, what would I like behind this one? I always like a little bit of hemp. I don't know if I want this one or a different one. And do I want to keep, I love that jagged edge. It's very, very thin. This is what I do. I lie it on top. I don't think I want that piece of hemp. It's too jaggedy. So I have a little bag here of scraps, but there may not be anything that's appropriate. Let's have a look. That's a little piece. Well, that's okay. That's going to do it. And it's a lovely color, and it's, I think I might have it on. Oh no, that side's good. It's a lovely color, and it's a loose weave. So let me see if I've got a bigger piece of that. I just gathered all these bits and pieces that were in my basket next to me here, and just threw them in this bag that I made years ago. It's reversible. It's made with hemp, and on the other side, you would have seen it before, but I haven't pulled it out actually for a long time. It's reversible. It's a Japanese loop bag. I think that's what they're called. It's a bit fiddly to make. So I canthered all of the canther quilts. So imagine that with perlé cotton. I nearly broke my hand. I mean, of course, canther quilts have lots of layers, but there was, I think there may have been some sort of synthetic fabrics in there as well. And honestly, my hand nearly fell off trying to do that. And I didn't have pliers at the time. It was pre-pliers, that I knew about pliers, that Ariane Zersha told me about the pliers. Well, she told us watching her video. So that could go there. This is how I measure. I'll put it on top. This is how I measure. So that's probably too tall, but I can worry about that afterwards. I'm wondering, I think I might put this at the back. I could even have it go this way. So I have these decisions to make. So I will be toing and froing a little bit, making decisions. I think I like it more there. Let's see, or I could turn it around the other way. It just depends what I have. I do like this fabric. I bought this in Arezzo from a quilt shop. It's a Tilda. And I really do like it. So let me just see what that's going to look like under there. So I'd line it up with that and have that, but put it under that, excuse me. Go there like that. Let's see, have to move it out a little bit. Move it across. Oh, what am I doing? Bit of a ding dong. Okay, that's it. So that was what that would look like. It's quite pretty, isn't it? And then I could, oh, there it is. I think that's what I'm going to do. So my first job is I want to put, I've cut that there. So let me see here. Is it going to be tall enough? No, it needs to go, let's see. Not quite. Oh, itchy nose. Oh, so what I do is just put a snip in here. Talk about silly. Just going to snip that off. That is something I'll use somewhere else. Okay. And then I just simply lay my fabric on top. I'll overlap it about, I'm going to overlap that. Let's see. Inevitably I get asked measurements, probably nearly 1.5 inches. And I will need it to overlap, what did I say? Almost. Let's give ourselves be a bit generous and give ourselves an inch. Rip all the way down. I don't like funny shaped pieces of fabrics. They're hard to fold. I got a nice 30 centimeters of that, and I can always go back to the lovely store and get some more until she runs out of it. Or Roberta De Marchi might have it one day when I go up to Milan. Don't know when I'm going to Milan, but I will eventually before it gets too hot. Okay, so I didn't mean for that to move. So I need mine. It's a bit of a fiddly business. Now that's not exactly straight, is it? We'll give that an eyeball. We'll call it eyeball trim. Can I help myself? It's already that I was about to speak to an Italian. The fact that I have pulled out the ruler to give you measurements, that is a big thing. Anyone who asks me measurements waits at least 6 months for me to answer. So I can have this under or over. I will just decide, just a minute. So I think I'll pull it out. Give yourself a bit of extra, just in case. So I'll decide whether I want it under or over. And I'm going to, I might just trim like that. I'll just look at the flowers. These are all opportunities, the leftover bits. So that's that bit. Then I was thinking what I would like is some blue ticking is going to be perfect with this. Triple V Vintage in the States is where I got this from. Wonderful Veronica. And I'm going to again overlap. So let's see. Oh, I need to see here. This is the measuring. It is the bestest measuring of all. You don't have to pull your rule out. You don't have to worry about being perfect or anything like that. You see why I'm not a quilter. Like I like to make random quilts, which I haven't made for a while, but I have made in the past, where you just take your pieces of fabric and measure them like this. Like if I were going to make a patch, if that was going to be a quilt block, this is what I would do. I'd lay my fabric over, make sure I've got some seam allowance happening there, and then that would be it. I would be not pulling out any rulers, and I would make another block that can attach. Not necessarily the same. Or constructed the same way. To the same size, yes, but not constructed the same way. So that is going to go over that. Isn't that pretty already as it is? It's a shame to cover it up. So that's it. That's my base. So what I need to do now is pin. Put my pins further apart just to hold on to it. And then I'll show you how I stitch it. And I learnt it from Jude Hill, the wonderful Jude Hill from Spirit Cloth. And she has free videos on YouTube, although I had paid, but she does show this on for free on YouTube. So I don't have any problem showing that. And I just grabbed one of these tatting sort of cottons, old vintage cottons. I like to use those rather than going out and buying new stuff. And I'm going to grab, I need kind of a long one. Do I have a long one here? There it is. It's a bit of a rod, but anyway. I'm going to have this one. Isn't that just the prettiest thing you ever did see? Pink and blue. Pink and blue and ecru. Many of you will have seen this before. So you're basically doing a long stitch on the bottom underside and a short stitch, teeny tiny stitch, invisible stitch on the top. Although it doesn't matter except for the bits that you can see here. Oh my goodness, I couldn't thread this needle if my life depended on it. There we go. So what I'll do is I probably should put a pin in there, simply because that's going to move. I don't want it to move. Okay. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in Ballarat at Susanna's retreat. See what those ladies are up to. I can't wait to see videos, girls, and hear how it all went. I know they're whooping it up down there. So I've just done little teeny tiny stitches. Sarah's showing this too in her slow stitch series. So teeny tiny stitch, you can hardly see them, but on the back, can you see? Long stitches. I don't know if you can see because it's the same color. Now I can go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is, because I've got an amount like this here, I'm going to actually zigzag across. So I'll do a stitch here. Then I can feel underneath where my needle stops, my fabric stops. And they don't really need to be so invisible here because this is going to be covered. But if it weren't going to be covered, you would make it very invisible. So I'm zigzagging across. Just saves a bit of time. So you'll see here, look, zigzag like that. So little stitch on top, big stitch. Now where I've got this gaping gap here, I'm going to put a pin in there because this hemp is wobbly like my linen is wobbly. So you need to have it secured. So then I need to jump across over here. I can kind of feel where the fabric is. And that way I've sort of sealed it all down in one hit. So rather than coming forward like that, I'm going down here to where I can feel the fabric ending. So I'm just making it invisible where it can be seen. Where it can be seen coming out from the edges of the digital kit. Digital page. Fabric digital page if we really want to be pedantic and precise. See how quick this is too? I've created my fabric. Oops, not like that. Like that. In one hit, becomes one piece of fabric. Giving credit where credit is due. Would never want to claim anyone's work as my own when it's not. Sort of ideas or techniques. Actually, I saw her, she did this on YouTube. This is where I didn't know about the zigzagging. I did rows, like I would have done 3 rows. And I saw her do this on YouTube sometime last year, I think it was. So then I think I'll come here. And then when I flip it over, I'll decide if I need to put any more stitches in. This one is a bit wider, so I think I'll do my zigzags a bit closer together. Careful not to tug at it. I always, even when cantha stitching, or appliquing, I always just put it down and make sure everything's flat. Doesn't always work. I still sometimes pucker things up. I probably need a few more pins in here. So always using my fingers underneath to feel where is the fabric. I can feel it there. Getting a tangled knot. Whoops. Now, see what I've done? I've pulled my stitches too tight. So let's just fix it. Okay. And then this will be glued to something because I'm going to make a journal from it. However, you could also make a Easter pouch. Have 2 different ones, or you could even have just like a different fabric on the reverse side and have that as your front panel and make a pouch. It's really like almost having a new piece of fabric to play with, because it will be all secured as one piece. Put those over there. And then go under here. So you can probably see the zigzags there pretty well. Okay. This cotton doesn't always behave. Okay, I can feel that going right across there. So I think what I'll do with this bit here is do a little zigzag, and then I'm going to just come down and do an invisible stitch down there, because I want to make sure that's stitched down, because we don't want it lifting, because then when I glue it to something, to its substrate to make the journal, I don't want it being puffy there because it wasn't stitched. The 2 layers weren't stitched together, although the glue might ooze through and glue it all together, because as I said, hemp is quite a loose weave. Just need to come over here because I didn't go over far enough. So that's how I create a new base from smaller pieces of fabric. So I'm going to now do my little stitches across here. Get rid of that. Come right to the edge there, I can feel it. And then just come down here and do little stitches. If the thread would cooperate, it would be wonderful. Just keeps tangling. Okay. And it doesn't have to be neat because that's all going to be hidden. See, that's just all stitched down now. So hopefully you can see that. On your device, if you want to, or on your phone or your device, if you want to zoom in, you just go like that on your screen and it zooms. If you're watching on the TV, you cannot do it. Okay, see, I have a nice piece of fabric here. When you pull it, it doesn't pull apart, it's all secure. And we're going to place this on top, kind of center it, and I'm loving the colors. You can almost just see the stripe through there. I like that. I like it all. I like the shade that it's giving because this is linen, so you can see the shadow of my fingers behind there, but you can then see the shadow of the fabrics. That looks kind of centered to me, so I'm just going to pin. Ow. And stab myself, of course. Why not? And you can embroider as little or as much as you want. If I find I've got a bit more on one side than the other, then I worry about that later and just trim it off. I might be doing more trimming depending on the book cover that I attach it to, if I decide to attach it to a book cover. Okay, that's that. So now we can do the fun bit and start embellishing. So let's see, I have a whole lot of scraps over here. Let's pull out all the scraps. And I've gotten into a bit of a mess, so I probably should tidy it up. That's a little bit. I love that stuff. And a few laces here. Okay, hopefully we have enough here to be able to do some things. There's a lovely piece. So already I can feel like I could put something like that there. So you can come off the page. Remember that, come off the page onto your background. The other thing I like to do is cut these apart and recompose them and mix in other fabrics as well. That's a really fun as well to do. Okay, so I don't know, I've got to get a feel for it. You can have little appliques. Oh, I quite like that. I want to cover all of the backing fabric. I sort of start to pin things down and then they might move. I have my horsewhip here next to me with some pins in it, so I'm quite liking that so far. So I like these sorts of fabrics with little flowers. Let's just cut this out just in case we want to put it somewhere. Love a flower, as you know. What I also love is this spotty fabric. So in my fabric collage, I may like that, who knows. Isn't that pretty? Have that. Do I want that there? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep it here. I love this fabric. I love it so much. I've actually found, I bought this from the lady in Arezzo as well. I found that I have a whole lot of it. I've got 3 pieces of it. because I bought it from her and it was in a pack. I think I need a bigger piece. And then I bought a separate piece, and then I bought one from Roberta DeMarchi as well. So I think I like this fabric. Okay, let's see. I could have that. I was going to put it there, but I don't think I want it there. No, I think I want it here. We'll have one sort of that would be towards the spine. So I'm liking that there. I think I could have a piece of lace there or something, would be nice. Could have this. No, we need something a bit more. Maybe put that there. I don't know, we'll just play with it. Maybe that one down there. I also have this lovely embroidery. It's sort of on the same line as that, so I don't like that. I could have it there. Okay, what else do we have? That's a bit not the right colour. This fabric I've been cutting the flowers out, but I don't think I've got room for any of that. What I do like, however, is this tone on tone bit. What about, let me just see here. It's just a vintage fabric. It's quite textural. I've used some in my big project, some of the flowers. And it's not antique or anything like that, it's just vintage. I don't think so, but I could use that. So I could use that somewhere else. No. Okay. I put that in the embellishing bag. I have this little piece here that's pretty. Because I've got ticking everywhere, so I don't want ticking, but sometimes just a little bit of blue is, a bit more blue is really nice. So when I get stuck, when I'm a little bit stuck right now, what I do is I pick it up and fold. So I think that's really pretty. I think I only just need a bit of lace in there, and that is going to be a lovely cover. So where's my lace gone? Over here. Wait, I have that. Where'd that come from? Oh, I've got that one up there, so not that type of lace. Because I do like that one up there. What am I going to do when this one runs out? I like this one. I use it all the time, and I like tearing it. Yeah, something like that, but bring it up just a little bit. I don't want it all on the same level, so, and I'm going to put that over the top. And then when I'm not sure, I just sort of, I'll stop and I'll step away and come back to it. I feel like we're too busy up here. I think I'm going to leave that space. We're too busy. I just like that little strip there. Here I can come in and do a little bit of sort of cantha stitching with another colour. Could be good. So I'm going to leave that. I could have... No, we've got too much going on. I think there's plenty there. It's here that needs more. So I could have something like that. I don't mind that up there. And then, yeah, I did quite like that. I haven't put any script on. I like the script as well. That there. So I quite like that. I don't even mind that it comes over into this scene. We have this little bit here. Where did I put my script? I love that flower. Too much. Not that script. This, here we go. I love my script. So I could use this type. And have that, I think maybe up there. Or let's see this one. This one I usually just cut that bit off because it's a big plain bit. I could have that one. No, I like the type font. Isn't that funny? There we go. So I pin that there. And we could have just some stitching down there, so you don't have to cover everything. I did like this little piece. I could have that there and do the stitching. Yeah, I think so. No, I'm not going to put ticking with ticking. I could put something like that there. No, I think I'm going to have this piece and then do stitching over it. So we'll pin that. Okay, so there's my collaged piece. Now let me just see one more thing, because it wouldn't be me if I wasn't auditioning. I could put that on. I quite like that. Let's just fold it again and see, because it's nice to see it, how you're going to look at it. Same level, don't like that. I know it's annoying, but that's how it is. I like that. No. And then I just wanted to check any script there. No. I could have a little piece down there. No, I don't think we need it. Oh, I quite like that. That's it. So I'm going to have that go under there. Come out the other side. That's it. I found it. Ow. Do I prefer it like that? Yeah. Okay. So then my next job is, after that, is just to whip stitch it all on. And then I'll come in with some decorative stitching. That's puckered up, so we don't want that. We have to lift that. You don't need to worry about how it's looking like this, because it's going to be, one part's going to be on the back and the other part's going to be on the front. So just quickly show you. First of all, I like to get rid of all the pins. So I'll start stitching down my bits. Now, one other thing that you can do, which makes really nice texture, which I didn't do on those ones, is you could do rows and rows of cantha stitching along on this one, which I think I might do. It takes a while, but I think rows of cantha stitching would be really nice. But for the moment, I think I'm just going to whip stitch on all my bits, and I think I'll start more in the center to avoid stitching it on and creating puckering. Now when I do my cantha stitching, I will just use the more ecru coloured thread, I think. Oh no, maybe this white one. Just a thin thread. It's just going to create texture, and it's going to stop it from puckering. So you can see why you don't need to do any more stitching with your background, like to put it together, because it's going to be quite heavily stitched over on top. So I think I'll put all these pieces on first and then do my rows of cantha stitching. This is one of my favourite fabrics. It's just a mid-century French floral, I think. Could be 1940s, I don't know. So whip stitching is when you just go over the edge. Now if you have a really frayy sort of fabric that you're dealing with, this is not fraying, but just say sometimes with the linen and you're going quite close to the edge, another way of helping avoid the frays is if you come up here on your background fabric and then come into your applique piece. That way it helps it not fray, because sometimes when you come up this way, like I am, I'm coming in quite a bit, like a millimetre in or so or more, it can sort of all the threads, the weave separates. It's just really a lot of fun. That's why I say, like, sometimes people think, oh, I got these faded out ones. I like the faded out ones or the background ones because they give you an opportunity to add more things. We'll have a look at one of the other. Let me just grab one of the other ones. So that's that, and then I'll stitch all of those down, and then rows and rows of cantha stitch. I won't go over the flower or the bunnies. I might go over the bunnies, not the flower. I might do a bit of embroidery on that. But and then on the edge here, I haven't finished that one. I'll do the same stitch, but I've whip stitched that down with the crew color, and then I'll come and do it again. So it's not going anywhere. So this was a faded out one too, which given me a lot of opportunity to play on it. But just say I had one like this one. See, there's already, I mean, there are lots of spaces here. She's quite faded out, so I wouldn't worry. I'm not going to be too concerned. I'm not going to use this to make a general cover because I want to make some other things with it. But I just wanted to give you an idea with the different types of fabrics. Some are really busy, and so maybe you don't want to cover it all. She's very faded out. These are good. And I might pick up a bit of the flowers here. So maybe here I could even come in with something like that. So I think that might be the rivet. Sometimes these things I can't tell which is the right way. But here I might come in with something else. Trim that and put that there. Oh, where's that blue flower? Opportunity for a big blue flower. Quite like that. Maybe put a bit of script. Where's my other bits? I don't want to cut that one up just for this one. So I'm not going to pin this down because, as I said, I'm not using this for this type of thing, but I'm just giving you an idea of how I might approach a more busy page. So I'm going to determine the bits that need to be not covered, and then the bits that can be covered. So probably put that, because I'd like to pick up, I would pick up the embroidery there. I might put that there, and that might be it on there. I might put a little tiny bit of ticking, because I don't know, it always looks nice in my opinion. And I might put that, just trying to see the best spot for it. I might put it there. This one obviously hasn't had its, clearly hasn't had its border trimmed. And then I could possibly put that there. Might come in with something like that even on here, quite like that. And then you could do some tone on tone embroidery, or like there's little bits of red in there. I could add that. That makes me feel happy seeing that. I have this nice piece of script. Now you'll notice I don't want to line it up with this exactly, and I quite like that look. Just slowly comes together. You could add a little laundry label somewhere on there, up there, I don't know. I mean, this one doesn't need too much on it. So if you just got a background, that's when you bring in these things, like you've got room for birdies and things like that, and other flowers, and then these pretty little things you can add here and there, sort of thing. But this one doesn't need too much, so then it might even just get a little bit of lace on it somewhere. I was trying to see if I had any more of that lovely, my favorite lace. Here it is. So I only need little bits for this sort of thing. I'll just tear a little piece off because I'll use it somewhere. I could have something like that, sort of just placed there. I like that sort of thing. And then that might be it. That might be all I'm going to put on there. And then I'm going to do a teeny tiny bit. So maybe the bunny, I'm going to go around with just maybe a reddy pink or raspberry pink or a red running stitch around that. I love that. I'm going to leave that. And I'd pick up a few little colours here and there in this very faded bit and up there. Bit of cantha stitching, maybe up there, and that's it. And that one's done, sort of thing. Because it's a fuller page, so I'm not wanting to cover everything up, but I have added a bit of my own to it. I'm probably going to cut this one up to do my project for next week. So, and then I had another idea chatting to my mama today. So there's another video, fun video, and I'm absolutely in love with this. The colors to me are glorious. So I'm doing the same stitch around everything. I'll do my cantha stitching on here once these bits are all stitched down, and then I'll go around with probably similar. I liked this pinky color. I'll probably do this pinky color around. Oh no, I might do an aqua blue, maybe this blue. I think I'd do that blue around it because there's a lot of pink. I'll do that blue. That was just the knitting wool 4-ply. I'm just going to do that around the edge. I think that'll be nice, and quite a bit of work to do in it. They're not quick, but they are lovely. Now, wouldn't that make a glorious pouch as well? That would make a lovely pouch. And you know, there are bunnies here on this page, but it's not actually, they're vintage or antique illustrations of bunnies. They're not from anything Eastery. So this could just be a nature sort of botanical pouch. I think that would be a beautiful pouch. I might turn that into a pouch. I don't know. So then I would do a backing as well. But I might just pick one of my fabrics. Oh, I've got a new fabric. My new fabric would be perfect as the backing of this one. And I'd have a pouch. So there we go. So that's my video today. Not too much stitching. We did more of a fabric collage. How I approach my different pages. So the more full ones, less goes on them. The plainer pages with more empty spaces give you more scope for adding things. Well, that's in my opinion. so that they don't become, the other pages could become too busy and you're covering up things that you like. So I hope that was helpful. Of course, I will keep you posted. I won't be working on these every week, but I will keep you posted how they're going. Progress is very slow because I've got a lot of projects on the go. I was thinking a pouch like this, although this is bigger, but a pouch like that would be lovely in that. So food for thought. So have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.